Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today I have myself a track titled Get Out by an act named Death to Rosalaleana. And if we switch over to here, we got ourselves a YouTube video for this. So we're gonna watch through this video from start to finish, gonna listen to the music. Oh, I forget that YouTube starts automatically when you do that. We're gonna listen through this track from start to finish, you're gonna hear what we think. Let's go. It's very ominous with this oscillating synth and the buzz. Get out. Cool. Cool. Okay. Okay, we're gonna have a good time. I love this low tune. Was that a 7 or an 8 string? I think that's an 8 string with fan frets or something like that. Loving the synth lead as well. The drums are nice and punchy. Cool kick grooves. Oh. Arabic melodies going on there. That kind of Middle Eastern kind of reminds me of like 40 Thieves or something like that. So it's cool. It's cool. I dig it so far. Nice bit of vocal modulation on the sides. Some filtered guitars. Double chorus, cool. Pretty sick. I like that double hook. I'm not usually a massive fan of them. I like that it'd be sort of more movement through a track, especially when we've got a track that's not just outside the 2 to 4 minute mark, but it's catchy enough to hold it. It's cool. Very simple guitar riff there, but it loops really well into itself. Again, like the singer is repeating these vocal lines, "You betrayed my trust for effect," and her voice sounds great whether it's over top of the heavy riffs in the hook section or this more sort of laid back quiet bit. I'm liking the contrast dynamically between the verses and the chorus. I think it works really well. Stealing my sleep is it. Get out now, not my problem. Stealing my sleep. It's very much like get the hell out of here, you know? Like seriously, you're stealing my sleep. You're wasting my time. I'm wasting my thoughts on you. This is not a comfortable or healthy situation. I like the tension that's being. It's kind of like the realization that the trust is lost, and then that chorus is sort of reinforcing it, and it's sort of more of an authoritative state, with an increase in the tension. Have we got octave chords and a lead guitar on the top? Very, very subtle. Lovely tap riff here at the tail end. I gotta also appreciate the production value and the subtlety of those additional vocal takes on either side of the stereo field. I think that's great. Intermingles really well with those filtered rhythm guitar parts we had. It's nice to have these strings here. It's cool. I love the aesthetic of the video, by the way. I just typically try to avoid talking about the videos too much because I'm not as knowledgeable about how video production is done. It's got this sort of exotic sensuality with it because of these interesting harmonic and melodic minors that we've got going on. They're you know, Death to Rosaleana, or Rosaleana. Excuse my accent. They really know how to segment and differentiate the various parts of their songs for effect. Like, it's so clean cut. It's so easy to follow along to. You always know where you're at. Breakdown. Really riding those zeros, but I don't mind, man. I'm always a fan of a... Is that a Strandberg or something like that? Strandberg guitar? Nice little 16th. Ooh. Are those natural or artificial harmonics? I think they might be naturals. That was a really cool 16th note filler on the drummer. Like, the drummer is pocketing, being very supportive of the guitarist and the vocalist here. I don't know if we've got a bassist here. I might have missed the bassist, but so far we've just had the drums, the guitar, and the vocalist. And when you've got a down-tuned guitar like that, you can kind of get away with that, because a lot of the 8 strings, and especially the 9 strings nowadays, they do get into that range of those bass instruments. Nice repeater there, dude. I actually really dig this one. You know, with the understanding that they're like a 3-piece, I'll find a better spot to pause this. Here we go. Shot with all of them. Because this is the conclusion. I've tried to listen more than I've tried to talk in this review. Because especially when we've got these tapping elements in like the end of each chorus and stuff like that, you want to sort of be aware that you could have some potential progressive elements in there. Typically, when you get the A strings and the tappy taps out and the even if there's some chug-chugs, you might be going on a bit of a journey. And I think that for Death to Rosaleana, they tried to keep it palatable to their audience and make it a little bit more easily digestible. I think that if they'd gone a little bit too progressive or genty with this, it might have been off-putting for some people. I mean, I've read that they've got like influences from bands like Shinedown, 21 Pilots, System of a Down. And I can hear some of those influences. Like, you've obviously got the really heavy metal, the 8-string guitars, the distortion, the double kick, and those grooves there. But you've also got that traditional contemporary structure of it with like the verse, chorus with it like an interlude section, and you've got some instrumental parts where just you've got the breakdown with the harmonics and all that. And there's like enough space for everyone in this band, all 3 members, to get their time to shine. I have a lot of respect for the vocalist here. I think that they've done an amazing job in allowing the other 2 who are so supportive of her to have their chance to play and be heard. Because occasionally, especially with singles, there can be a temptation to be very sort of like story oriented. I think part of the simplicity of the chorus lines and the verses is just, you very easily understand what the story is about. It's about someone realizing that you've completely screwed it. You've completely lost the trust of this individual, and they want you out. You're messing with their head. You're messing with their life. It's the end of it. There's no coming back from here. And the way I think that the delivery of the vocals, her singing, she got a beautiful voice. In regards to technique, I think that it comes through very clearly. She's clearly comfortable within her vocal range. The notes are coming through nice and smoothly. Got some power to her voice, especially in that chorus section. It's not too overbearing. I think that clean vocals would have suited this particular song, especially as a single. I don't have any issues with growling or anything like that. But when you've got the guitar really rolling with those low notes and the drums purely providing that percussive element and since sort of syncopating with those sort of rhythm parts, you need the vocals to be a bit more colorful to balance that out, because especially in that breakdown, it sounded so viscerally heavy because of the fact that there was that resonance in that low to mid-range. The harmonics were a nice bit of upper register, and obviously the cymbals are in that range, but there's a real sense of power and force to it that is evened out by the singer, who incidentally, I think the lead singer's name is Rue. So Rue did a great job here. Kept things simple, worked really well. Again, as I mentioned, the structure of it had the verse chorus structure, and I don't think you need to stray too far from that again for a single. Part of me was like, oh, are they going to introduce like especially because I could see how well the guitarist could play and the drummer could play, and obviously Rue was getting her time to shine with her verse and chorus parts. To be fair to Rue, she kept things fairly, like she sang in a way that was necessary for the song. There wasn't a lot of ornamentation or anything. It never became an ego project, which I thoroughly appreciate. It's just there was a fantastic chemistry between the 3 members of the band. But to get back to what I was saying before, I was expecting some kind of maybe a solo or something like that, especially in a track that's 4 minutes. It's got a bit more real estate to be able to do that. But at the same time, I don't feel that it needed to have a guitar solo or like even like another instrument in there. Yeah, the strings come in for that interlude section where we got the mask put on and everything like that. And it was just a nice bit of space in between those really heavy chuggish sections on the low strings. I think that, again, you had the high strings to balance it out. There was a real sense of equilibrium with the overall arrangement of the song, and coupled that with the instrumental performances, we knew the drums were going to cover the entire percussive rhythmic groove area. The guitar stayed in that low to mid end. You had the strings up high, and then Rue was in that mid to high area as well. It's just a no-brainer. It's just really simple, effective songwriting and composition. You didn't really need to do more than that to make a banger of a track. I understood everything that was going on in it. I could follow along to it. I was nodding my head and I was vibing to it. It's great. It makes me very interested to see what Death to Rosaleana do next, because I have had a great first time with them, and I feel safe knowing that whatever they put out in future is probably going to be just as good, if not better. I guess finally, the production, the recording, mixing, and mastering. I'll be honest, it sounds thoroughly professional. It sounds release ready. It sounds like it could be put on all digital streaming platforms and do well for itself. I've enjoyed. It's very. I think it is, again. It's like metal that's meant to appeal. Not to everyone. Like, I'm not going to pretend that everyone is going to be into this kind of music. There are people that are going to listen to those guitars and they're going to go, oh, that's too much for me. But I think that anyone who's into like sort of alt rock, heavy rock, into the metal stuff, I think will be able to vibe along with this. And I think a lot of people will be able to relate and appreciate to what the song is about as well, of having people in your life that you just want to fuck off, you know? Excuse the language. Yeah, you just really want them to go away. So I think that that's a really smart song that they've put out. They can clearly play and sing and write, and their production is great too. The EQing, stereo panning, the effects work with those filtered guitars and the various vocal tracks and stuff around here. It just sounded so nice and full, but there was dynamic range to it as well. And the limiting and compression was sensational. I'm really impressed with Death to Rosaleana, and I really want to hear more from them, and I hope that I wish them the best luck in future anyways. But effectively, this was my review of Death to Rosaleana's Get Out. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this track, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and YouTube page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.